Welcome to the Mega Print on Demand Summit. I am Melissa Reynolds, one of your hosts. Are you ready to learn about print on demand? I hope so, because we have some great speakers lined up for you. This is the day one of the summit, and we are going to be discussing the building blocks of success. So let's get started.
Hello, this is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. I am the owner and the creator of eCom Sellers Summit, eCom Sellers Academy, eCom Sellers Mastery, and eCom Q4 Summit. And I'm here to talk with you about the habits of a successful e-commerce seller. So the first thing that I want to talk about is one of the habits of a successful e-commerce seller is the mindset. The mindset is extremely important when it comes to being an e-commerce seller, because at the end of the day, it's all about this is your business, and every decision that happens in this business, everything that occurs, good, bad, or indifferent, you are the boss, and you want to embrace the decisions that you make in your business. So if you decide that you want to sell it on a specific platform, again, you want to do the appropriate research, make the decision and just step into it. Embrace the decisions that you make. The key to being a successful e-commerce seller and entrepreneur is that you realize at the end of the day that everything about the business is yours. The direction that the business goes in, the ups and downs that the business experiences, and the victories that the business experiences, they are all because of the decisions you took and the actions that you took in your business, the decisions that you made and the actions that you took. So just remember that at the end of the day, you really do need to run your business like a business. And that's one of the challenges that I run into when I'm working with people, is that they really don't run their business as a business. They run it as just, it's like a hobby, and they don't treat it like a real business, like a true operation. So if you treat your business like a business, you run it like a business, then you will be far more successful. And you want to lay a strong foundation for making sure that you are successful in your business. So before you even get into doing anything in your business, you really need to evaluate and truly understand why you even want to do this. Because being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. It is challenging at times, it is frustrating, and it is also amazing. There are so many wonderful things that happen when you're able to help other entrepreneurs and bless them, when you're able to experience lots of sales and lots of growth in your own business. That's a wonderful thing. But when the tough times come, it is always your why that redirects you and reminds you why you're in this business, how you got into this business, and if you should continue to stay in this business. So what I want to encourage you to do is I want you to really think long and hard about what your why is. Why do you want to do e-commerce? What interests you about it? What do you like? What do you not like? What is it about this business? Since this is about print on demand, what is it about print on demand that interests you? Is it nothing? Is it that you just want to make money? Or is it that you really actually do like something about the concept and the idea of print on demand? Because they're going to be sharing a lot of great information about how to do print on demand and what's involved in it and how you can be successful at it. But there will be times where you're going, I created 50 designs, I created 100 designs, and nothing's moving. You have to understand that if this is something that you really want to do, that you're passionate about, establish your business correctly. Remember your why when those tough days come. So I want to encourage you to write down your why and put it somewhere on your wall so you're reminded of it every morning when you get up, or in the afternoon when you decide to clock into your business and start working your business. What is it that why am I doing this business? And then what does my schedule dictate that I'm going to try and get done today? So about your why, a lot of people it's all about what they want to get, what they want to have. It has nothing to do about serving the community or providing a service that people are interested in. And at the end of the day, the only way you're going to make money in this business is that you actually provide a service or a product that people want or need. At the end of the day, that is the biggest thing. So if your why is about what you can get, I want to make money, I want to buy a house, I want to go live in Tahiti, wherever, you need to be thinking about it the other way. You need to be thinking about, how can I be of service to the community? What is it that the community needs that I can create, build, develop, design? What is it? What is it that I can offer? Because it is in that, that is where your money is going to come when you figure out how to best serve the community. So, what type of entrepreneur do you want to be? What type of work do you want to do? And those two things will help you get to what you want to have. So think about what type of entrepreneur you want to be. Do you want to be an entrepreneur that's all about, I just want to make money? Or do you want to be an entrepreneur that I actually provide a service or a product that people want or need on a regular basis? And you realize that that's how you make your money. When you think about, when you look at infomercials, they are all about showing them how they can use this tool to either simplify their life or this product to simplify their life, make their life better, make it easier. That is what that whole conversation is 100% about when they're selling and marketing those tools or products or whatever they happen to be. So I want you to really think about this. What is your why? Why do you want to be in this business? What type of entrepreneur do you want to be? You want to be a successful one? Then you need to learn or figure out how to serve people and serve them in a way that helps them achieve whatever it is that they're looking for. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to talk about the habits of a successful seller. So the successful seller, there's so many things. The first thing is that they are committed to their business. There's going to be a lot of times as sellers that you're going to be distracted. There's going to be shiny object syndrome. Somebody's selling some tool, somebody's selling something else. Before you decide you're going to buy or get into anything, I would encourage you, first off, use free tools whenever possible. Second, in looking at using free tools, when you're ready, when you're at a place where you're making a profit, because the key is to profit first. And there's a book called Profit First. So I would encourage you to check it out. It's on Amazon. But you need to be into profit first before you decide that you're actually going to spend any money in your business. And then once you're into profit, then you can acquire those tools. But in the middle of that, you need to be committed to this business. You need to say, okay, I do want to do this business. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to run this business. This is how I want to work my business. And this is the business that I want to do. A lot of people are not committed to their business. It's a hobby. It's just something to do to kill the time. You need to be focused on the daily activities that are going to generate the capital that you're looking for, the money that you're looking for, or the daily activities that will help you find products that customers want to buy, that serve the customer, that they're interested in, that they will actually purchase from you. Again, not being distracted, shiny object syndrome, not being distracted by someone else's course, somebody else's program, somebody else's tool. Don't get distracted. If you're committed to your business, stay committed. If you're focused on your business, definitely stay focused, because your focus and your commitment to your business is what's going to help you be successful in the long run. That focus and commitment will also help you build the habits that you need to be a successful seller. Okay. Consistency, consistency, consistency. That is where the money comes. Because when you first start in this business, you are green. You don't know what to source. You don't know what type of products to create, what people are looking for. And so it's the consistency in doing research. It's the consistency in looking at the data. It is the consistency in going out there and seeing what's already selling or what's already moving or what are the popular trends, what's hot right now. That consistency of awareness, being consistent in your business, consistently researching, consistently doing product analysis, consistently looking at the data. Focus on your business and be consistent in your business. Every single day, you need to be working your business, doing something in your business that's going to help you to make the looking to make. Get organized. That is so important because there's a lot of people who run businesses, they start businesses, and they're not organized at all. They're doing 9,000 other things, and they have not even laid the foundation for the things that are going to help them be here in the long run. So when I say organized, it's being organized for right now and also for the future. What does this business look like for you in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? Is this something you want to keep doing? Is this where you want to be? Or do you want to set up this business and establish it in such a way that you can turn around and sell it? Are you going to create a print-on-demand store? Or are you going to just continue to list independently on print on demand platforms or other more popular platforms. So get organized in your business. Figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it. Getting organized is so important, because if you're not organized in your business, then you won't be able to figure out if you're profiting. You won't know how to figure out what the data looks like. You won't be able to figure out what are the trends. What is the data telling me? Okay, these two, I did a split test. This one with the picture of the dog sold. This one without the picture of the dog did not sell. Like, doing that analysis. So getting organized does not always mean you have to buy tools. There's a lot of great free tools that are out there. I love Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Calendar. I use Google for everything as much as I can until I'm at a place where, in my business, if I wanted to buy software, I could. So I choose Google because it's easy, it's simple, and it's free. Get organized. Make sure you start to build a calendar around what are the things you need to do. And then also make sure that you're keeping track of the information that you're going to need to be successful long term. At the end of the day, as a seller, as an e-commerce seller, you still got to pay taxes. Make sure you're keeping track of that data. That's so important. Make sure that if you haven't already, one of my hat tricks is that I teach people to create a Google email account. My Google email account is called Nechole Tax, and it can be your name and tax, or your name and tracking, or your name and docs, whatever you want to do. But mine is called Nechole Tax. And whenever I either acquire inventory or buy a tool that I'm using in my e-commerce business, I make sure that I forward all of those receipts, all of those invoices, all of those documents over to NecholeTax@gmail.com. And then when I am downloading reports from the different platforms in which I've sold on, I forward those reports in email to NecholeTax@gmail.com. At the end of a month, what's going to be in the NecholeTax@gmail.com account? It's going to be all of my receipts, all of my invoices, all of my expenses that I've spent, all of the information around the profit that I've made. If I ended up buying templates or designs from someone, those receipts were forwarded to NecholeTax@gmail.com, and they are flagged as expenses. If I made revenue, I've sold on Etsy or whatever platforms I'm selling on, again, those reports, that data that I'm extracting from those platforms, I forwarded that information over to NecholeTax@gmail.com. I know who I've sold with and all of that information. Another thing about getting organized is long-term, bigger picture. You want to, over time, be able to start collecting some data on your customers. And so creating a reservoir of information so that you have their email accounts, so that if you decide you're going to focus more on a niche and not be generic and build a store at some future time, you got a starting base. If you don't start collecting that data, you won't have it. So getting organized, figuring out where I want to store that data, how do I want to extract it, how do I capture it, so that I can have that as a future tool. If you're doing print on demand for 2 years, you got 2 years worth of customer data. That's helpful information for you. If you decide to build a store, you want to launch it and give away coupons to all your previous customers, that's a great strategy. You need to be a planner. You need to be thinking about what are the things that, from a standpoint of what are the things that are going to be coming up. So right now we're in the middle of the summer. Well, I guess we're about to start the summer. It's June the 15th, but since it is almost summer, technically, it feels like it's already there. Having that planner about what are the things that typically people would buy in June or July or August or September, October, November, December, and start thinking about what are those designs that I need to create, what are those products that I need to develop, what are those things that I probably should be thinking about and doing research so I can source for them. Which platforms will make the certain bag that I'm looking for, cups that I'm looking for, shoestrings that I want to sell, okay? And when might I sell those things? So in July, we know that's the 4th of July period, and then we go into August, and we know that's back to school. What are the print-on-demand products that I could be offering then? And then we get into September, which is Labor Day, and just be thinking about, from a planning standpoint, when do I start working on those designs? When do I start working on designs for Labor Day? When do I start working on resources or maybe get to a place where I hire a VA? When do I start that process? And I always back up about 6 to 8 weeks from when I want to be able to sell that particular thing. I want that thing to be purchased so that way I've given myself a buffer. So if I'm going to start doing designs and development, start listing things, I'm going to probably list it 8 weeks before people will start buying it. So it's already out there, maybe optimized at that point, making sure I have the great keywords. You should always be a student of this business, always be doing research. But the thing about that is, I recommend that people not spend all their time doing research all the time, because when you do that, you're not engaging in income producing activities, which is what we're going to talk about next. So being a student means that you allot time, maybe once a week, maybe once every other week, to focus on the things that you need to either get up to speed on, maybe some new technology, maybe some changes to the platform that you're selling on, but you make time for the things that's important, not to get sucked down the rabbit hole on YouTube and be in the vortex of, oh my gosh, 3 hours later, I've watched 20 YouTube videos, but to actually be intentional about what you want to learn. So the one thing that I will tell you that successful sellers, in addition to being consistent, being organized, being focused, and also being planners, is that they're intentional about their time, money, and resources. Their time is valuable. They're intentional about how many hours a day they're going to do research, how much time a day they're going to be listing, what resources they're going to invest their money in, or maybe not invest their money in. Who are they going to work with? Who are they going to source from? Those types of things. They are very intentional. So what I want to encourage you to do is you need to start getting focused and start getting intentional about your time, your money, and your resources. Don't just buy a bunch of stuff and never use it. Don't just spend a bunch of time on, like I said, YouTube, watching billions of hours of videos and allowing somebody else to get paid off of your views. Actually be focused. I'm going to sit down and today I'm going to watch watch 3 YouTube videos on this specific topic so I can learn it, master it, and implement it. When you learn something, implement it as soon as you learn it. Start using it. Otherwise, you lose it and you have to go back and rewatch when you're ready to use it again. Okay? So be intentional about your time. And don't spend a lot of money buying a bunch of stuff you're never going to use. And don't spend a bunch of money on stuff that everybody else is using, so that you can't stand out. Figure out how to stand out from the crowd so that people buy your product. Okay? And then resources, whatever tools you're going to use to do this business, whether they're free tools or not, be intentional about the ones that you acquire and make sure that you profit first before you start spending money on resources. If you have not made any money, you can do this business with minimal cost. Okay? So we want to take all the information that we have here, and we want to start to form habits that will help us to be successful. And the way to do that is by building a real work schedule. One of the easiest ways to build a habit is to build a real work schedule. So we're going to talk about your real work schedule. Your real work schedule is going to help you to be successful. It's going to help you to be consistent, and it's going to help you to build those habits in your business that are going to help you to grow. A lot of people who are making a lot of money in e-commerce, they do the work initially themselves, and then they eventually outsource it, those that have scaled significantly. So doing the work initially yourself is going to help you to learn what it is and what it takes and what's involved in actually doing those activities. And then over time, it's going to help you to build, the documents that you need, standard operating procedures, if you want to go ahead and outsource those tasks. So build a real work schedule. We want you to be successful. We're going to have you do a quick activity. So if you've got a pen in front of you, what I want you to do is I want you to think about right now, if you built a real work schedule, what would impede you from being able to actually implement or execute that schedule? Like, what are the things that are happening in your life? What's happening in your business? What's distracting you right now? So one of the things that the challenge I have is I have 2 special needs kiddos. And when I talked about my why, I do the business for my kiddos. It's about getting therapies for my kids. Both of my children are on the autism spectrum. So it's about getting speech, OT, ABA. It's about taking care of their special diet. It's about being able to buy the supplements or get them in to see any other specialists. And so that is my why. So when I come and think about what write down what is distracting me, it's probably my kids right now because they've been home since March. So my ability to focus on the things that I need to focus on is is challenging at times because my kids can be such a distraction. But again, building a real work schedule. How can I work my business? Do I work it just before they wake up? Do I work it in the evening after they go to sleep? Do I work it while they're in any other therapies, online therapies? How do I incorporate it into my life? What's stopping you? So if what's stopping you is I am not a graphic designer, I don't know how to create designs, I don't whatever. Okay, that's something that you can solve. It doesn't mean that you have to create the designs. It could mean that you use a tool to do that. But I want you to write down all the things that are stopping you. What's in your way? Is it that you can't see that you have enough time? So if you've been using most of your time to binge watch stuff right now, you probably got the time. It's just whether or not you have the focus. And I will tell you, working from home, I've been working from home since 2008, technically unofficially since 2005, but I went back to the workforce and then came back out again. But just thinking about, what's in my way? What are the things that I need to clear out the way? Well, maybe I need to get more structured in my home life. Maybe I a little less like binge watch a whole series. Maybe I need to cook meals on Saturday and Sunday so that I'm not cooking meals every single day throughout the week, and maybe just do some meal prep planning. Maybe I need to find something for my kids to do for a certain block of time during the day so that way they're not in my way. So these are things that are gonna, you need to think about the answer to this for you, and then we want to work towards getting a solution to those things. So write down what's stopping you, what's distracting you. If it is huge, where you just don't have any time, I'm working 80 hours a week and I have nothing to give, then you may be a candidate for just 100% outsourcing your business. I encourage people before they outsource the business, they need to understand what's involved in the operations so that they are not blindsided by something that may happen because they outsourced 100% of the operations. So I encourage you to learn before you outsource. But if you're in that position, write that down. This is what's stopping me. This is what my problem is. Then the next thing is I want you to think about how many hours in a week could you truly commit to your business? How many hours in a day? Maybe Mondays I've got 3 hours to give. Tuesdays I only got 1 hour to give. Wednesday I got 5 hours to give. Like how much time realistically could you give to your business? Maybe it's split up or maybe it's solid time. I prefer solid time when I can get solid time, but if I can't get solid time, then I will go for broken time. And when I have broken time, I split it up. What are the things that I need to focus on, look at, research right now? Okay. And then when's your most productive time in the day? So some people, the most productive time of the day is right after they exercise because the endorphins in their brain and they're just really ready to go. For some people, the most productive time of the day is in the evening or sometimes in the morning when they first get up. So what is the most productive time of the day for you? Okay. So I use a couple of time hacks just before we get into talking about time blocks. I use my phone to set alarms so that if I am, because I've been home since 2008, so you got to get organized in your day. So I set alarms on my phone that are recurring alarms, and that feature should exist on all Androids and Apple phones when it comes to calendar or a clock, not calendar, clock. So I do actually use my phone alarms. And if this is listing time, if this is the time in which I'm doing listing activities, then I have an alarm and I actually put a description for that and it pops up on my phone and I have to physically pick up the phone and turn it off. And when I turn it off, I see that it says this is listing time, or if this is research time, or if this is, going out and seeing if I have any customer service issues I have to address or answer or respond to. So, pulling down reports, doing administrative work, any of that kind of stuff, I set alarms. I also use my Google Calendar for my time block. My time blocks, you can set notifications so that they notify you on your phone that that's a time block, that you're about to do whatever the activity happens to be. I also set timers on my phone. I also, use kitchen timers, not set timers. I use kitchen timers. So kitchen timers are great because if you're going to engage in an activity where you're like, I really only want to do some research on this one topic, I'm going to go to YouTube and I only want to research for 30 minutes. If you set a kitchen timer, then hopefully that will help you to stay focused so that when that kitchen timer goes off, you turn it off and you switch to the next thing. Okay? Then another thing that I do, one of the tricks that I do is when I am listing, I actually have a playlist on YouTube. And so when I'm engaged in my listing activity, because listing is the highest income producing activity you can engage in. Listing is the actual highest income producing activity. So because I want to list, I will actually play music. I will play music. I will play my playlist, will find a song. So one of the things that I used to do, I still do it from time to time, is Williams had a song called Happy. It was from the Minions and Minions 2, I think. And in that song, he had actually had an hours long version of it. So if I said I was going to list for 1 hour straight, create listings for 1 hour straight, then I would actually turn on Happy and I would list until Happy finished playing. That was my strategy. That was my technique, and it worked. And that way I could stay consistent and I could stay focused. And in the middle of that, I'm tapping my toes and I'm singing the songs, but I've changed the words over the years. Like I'm happy because I'm making money, blah, blah, blah. I would just come up with my own version of the words. If you are one of those people that you need to clock in, clock out, if that helps you to stay focused and consistent in your actions and activities in your business, then do that. So you can clock in or sign in, sign out. For my kids, I will put signs on the door. And before COVID-19, I would actually leave and go to the library. So I would literally leave and go to the library. For some of you, you're going to have to notify your kids, or you're going to have to tell your husband or your spouse, your wife, look, I am going to be listing for the next hour, or I'm going to be doing product research for the next hour, and I really need to focus 100%. And you might just put a note on the door. You may tell them during this window, this is my listing time. This is how we use the money from our print on demand business to pay the light bill or the water bill or whatever. And so you need to notify your spouse and say, look, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to need your help and your support. Okay. Make sure that you're not scheduling it in the middle of something that you know you always have to do. Like if you always cook dinner at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, don't put that down as a listing time. Don't put that down as a product research time. Continue to live your life like a normal person and find another window that's more optimal for you to be doing listing or product research. All right, so the majority of your time, if you want to get paid doing this business, this e-commerce business, you have to be listing. People cannot buy what they cannot find. People cannot buy what they cannot find. So your goal is to find things that people are looking for and to sell those products and or similar products or accessory related products or related products, all of that. Your goal is to serve the community. And by serving the community, you will get paid. Selling the things that people want or need. And I want you to think about what is it that people need right now? What do people want? So engaging in income producing activities or income generating activities, it's known by different names, but that is your goal. You have to make sure that the majority of the time that you spend is engaged in income producing activity. And your biggest income producing activity is listing, so people can find it. Now you want to list so that it's listed correctly, but yes. So you should have time blocks on your calendar that for learning, which I mentioned before. You definitely need time blocks for research and sourcing. And that is so important. But at the end of the day, it is not an income producing activity. It is not until you list it. You could do research for 20 hours on the same topic, 20 hours, but until you list it, you cannot make money off of that research. So if you did 20 hours worth of research and you do nothing with it, then that was just a waste of time. Maybe it wasn't a waste of time. Maybe it was just a preliminary, okay, this did not make enough sense, but it shouldn't have taken you 20 hours to get to that conclusion. It should take you about an hour or two to get to that conclusion that this one will not be worth it, not 20 hours to come to the conclusion that this one will not be worth it. So make sure you're using your time wisely. One of the things that I said at the beginning is that successful sellers are intentional about their time, money, and resources. Time is the biggest one, because we only have a finite amount of time in a day and in our lives. So make sure you're investing in the right thing. So sourcing is important and researching is important. All of that is important. You've got to do analysis. You've got to go figure out what people want. And then when you start listing, you can list and you can split test list so that you can take an item and take two versions of it and list it and see what happens. But the listing activity is the income producing activity. You also need to make sure that you have time on your calendar to deal with things like, depending on which platforms you're selling on, because again, different platforms will handle things differently for you. But if you're created your own store, or if you're selling like on Amazon, eBay, or Etsy, if you have a customer service type of situation, you probably need to check into it. Dealing with returns, and that time that you allot should not be more than 5%. You also need to have admin time. Admin time is important. And that's where your business operations, this is where you're doing the business operations side of the business. So you have separate time for learning and separate time for admin. The rest of that time you should be doing listing and product research. That's it. With listing being the thing that generates the capital. Okay. So I want you to create a real work schedule, and I want you to implement it. So we're going to create a real work schedule. I'm going to escape for just a second. We're going to go to a calendar, and I'm going to show you this activity. So I'm in Google Calendar. So I don't know if you know or not, but you can create new calendars. Underneath my calendar, you can click on other calendars, and you can click on the plus sign, and you can create a new calendar. And this new calendar can be for your print on demand business. So I'm going to call it print on demand. You can call it whatever you want to. This is maybe your productivity calendar. You can call it whatever you want to. So you can call it productivity calendar. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and click create. Then once I click create, I'm going to go backwards. And now this calendar exists. So maybe your life is such that you got to get up, you got to get the kids ready, you got to do all kinds of stuff, get the kids set up. Maybe you're homeschooling, or maybe you're engaging them in summer activities. So maybe you're not able to start working in your business until, I don't know, 10 o'clock. So that first activity, let's just say hypothetically, your first activity is product research. Okay, I call it product research and sourcing. So maybe you've committed to, I'm going to click on more options, and I'm going to go and choose about an hour and a half to do product research. You could choose just an hour. I'm going to click on the drop down for do not repeat. I'm going to choose custom, and I'm going to say this is an activity I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when I say that it never ends. Okay. I want to put a notification, so maybe it'll send me a notification on my phone. Now I'm going to choose a time that's optimal. If I choose this time for product research, if I need to schedule a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, if I need to go get my tires fixed, if I need to have the plumber come to the house, I am not scheduling anything during a time in which it's going to impact my business in any kind of way. The plumber can come at 9 o'clock in the morning. I can go to the dentist at 8 o'clock in the morning, or I can go afterwards. I can schedule my doctor's appointments after I'm done this. I'm not going to schedule things at the same time. That is so, so important. So once I choose that, I've chosen a color. The color right now is yellow. You can change that color if it works out for you. You can change it to something else, product research. And I am changing it to orange, and I'm going to say that that is when I'm doing product research. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to include a listing activity. The listing activity, this is when I'm going to list. I'm going to make this one green because green is the color of money. I'm going to set up a notification for it, and I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to say I'm going to do an hour's worth of listing every single day. Maybe it's 2 hours worth of listing, and I'm going to take that product research and I'm going to do at least maybe an hour and a half's worth of research. I don't know, but for the purposes of this exercise, I'm just going to do an hour's worth of research. The great thing about the calendar is you can go and change it whenever you need to. Okay. I'm going to choose that this happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday. Okay. Click done. And so I'm not going to schedule doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. I'm not going to schedule it when I am engaged in the income producing activity. So now I've got an activity where I am doing product research Monday through Friday. I'm listing on Saturday, including Saturday, and I can move this up if I wanted to, just to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'll move this up, and maybe I create this first calendar for Monday through Friday, create a separate calendar for Saturday, and make that listing time. So the other activity that I said I needed to do is I said, okay, I need to have a time block for learning. I need to have a time block for customer service. I need to have a time block for admin related activities. So let's go put these on the calendar. So maybe I am doing my admin related activities and I stick with that 10 o'clock time frame, but I'm going to make this, let's make it purple. And this is admin. This is all the administrative stuff, my accounting, my reconciliation, my deep, deep research that I need to do around, am I profitable? Am I making enough money? I'm going to set this up as recurring, and it's going to be weekly on Sunday, and it's every Sunday. And I'm going to go ahead and click save. So now it's on my calendar, 2 hours every single week. I'm going to commit to admin related work. I can make this an hour and a half if I don't have that much listed. So you can change this time over time to make it less if you don't have as much activity around that. Then the next activity I said I needed to do is I need to make sure I have learning time, and I need to also have customer service time. So maybe I go ahead and put my learning time here so I can focus. I'm only going to do learning once a week, and I'm doing learning about maybe some new program that I just bought, and I'm only going to watch those videos on that Saturday. I'm only going to pay attention to that stuff. I'm going to put it as gray actually instead of red. And I want it to be every Sunday, so weekly on Sunday, and I'm doing 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and save that. So now I have that time block. So then the next thing that I'm going to engage in is I have to do some level of customer service. So customer service is the next one, returns, whatever it happens to be. I never know what I'm going to have to do, but I've already taken care of learning, research, listing activities. I've already taken care of admin. I got customer service. Oops. So customer service. And what I can do is I can just go and check every single day for 15 minutes to see if I have any customer service related things that I need to address. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have anything. It's only a 15-minute check. I can always increase the time if I need to, but if I don't need it, I don't worry about it. If I do need it, I've already got it scheduled. I've already got it time blocked. I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to say I'm going to do customer service stuff 4 times a week. That's it. Now I've just built a schedule. And this is the schedule that I plan on following. I'm going to plan on keeping. But again, it's going to be based off of what I said I was available. When did I say I could actually work my business? How many hours can I actually work in my business? Can I work 20 hours a week, or can I only work 10? Can I work 5 hours a week? And how much time? Another thing that you might do when you're thinking about this is write down some goals about how many items do you want to try and list in a day versus a week. Maybe your goal, your soft goal is, I want to make sure I have up no less than 5 new listings a day. 5 new listings a day, 6 days a week. At the end of a week, you have 30 new listings. At the end of a month, you have 120 new listings. So what is your end game? What is your goal? The more items you have listed as you're trying to build up this business, the more money you'll make long term. So think about what your realistic time is and how much time can I commit to listing items, and how many items do I want to try and get listed in a day. So I want you to think about those things. So your goal, your objective in your research, when you're committed to research time, make sure you're thinking about new ideas that maybe came to you naturally and organically. Sometimes we get fresh ideas after we've gone to sleep and waken, and it's like, oh, okay, your brain got a fresh reboot. So maybe some ideas popped into your mind, maybe some product ideas, maybe some bundle ideas. Maybe you had 2 ideas and you're now combining them together to make an amazing print on demand bundle. Think about seasonal, trendy, popular holiday. Think about those things, national events, movies. Those are all great ways to come up with product ideas. People always buy things around the holidays. There's a lot of great print on demand ideas for Christmas. There's a lot of great print on demand ideas for Valentine's Day. There's a lot of one Mother's Day, Father's Day. So be thinking about those holidays. What type of niches? Do you want to focus on a specific niche? So a specific niche would be, an example would be pet lovers. Now that's a big, broad niche. So maybe we niche it down. Pet lovers are people who like pets, people who have pets. And maybe you take the dog part, or they like to take them for a walk. So then that's a specific niche that you focus on in your print on demand business. You want to go find out what the keywords are for that. You want to go find out how people are searching. How do you find those people? What platforms are they on? Are they on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? What kind of page could you create, a free page that would actually, you could list your design products. So Facebook has shops now. Instagram is another one. There's so many different ways in which you could sell products to those people who have small dogs and they like to walk them. That is a niche. Designs. So doing research on designs. So sometimes you can find people who will make designs for you. You can have people, you can give them the idea, they'll create them. Or maybe there's a person that just creates all designs. Maybe you are looking through a library of a tool that you have access to create designs. Or maybe you're doing research online to see what's already selling. So maybe there's already a trend out there for maybe t-shirts for pet lovers, people who have dogs that they like to walk that are small. So maybe you can create a similar design or a related design that would go with that, or maybe sell a related product that might help those people. When you're creating, you're probably using tools. More than likely, a lot of us use tools. You'll hear Spark today as one of those tools. But think about the tools that you could use to create designs. And sometimes it's the platforms, specific platforms that you're going to use their platform to create the design. You can also purchase templates, or some people use templates to create their designs. But again, that's during your create. So you're in the research and you're sourcing, you're creating, and then listing. Which platforms are you going to list on? Are you going to list on the standalone print on demand platforms themselves, like Redbubble or Gearbubble or Sunfrog or Printful? Are you going to list on other platforms that have a more global reach, like Etsy or Amazon or eBay? Or are you going to create your own print on demand store? Again, if you're going to create your own print on demand store, are you niching down? Or are you going to create multiple print on demand stores? So, listing on Redbubble and Gearbubble, Sunfrog, and some of those other platforms, in most cases is free. Listing on Amazon, eBay, and Etsy, in some cases are free. Some you have to pay for some of the platforms that you want to list on, but you make money when the item sells, not when you list it. So you want to keep those things in mind about which platforms you're going to use and which one works with your bank account. Because creating a store, you have to remember you got to drive traffic. So you want to make sure that, like when you create your designs, that you're thinking about the keywords so that your listing can be found organically. Or are you going to invest money? Again, time, money, and resources. So do you have money to be able to pay for paid ads to drive traffic to your listings on whatever platform it happens to be on? These are things that you need to be thinking about. So your next steps are, you need to build a calendar. You need to build a calendar, get organized, build a calendar. Create that Gmail account that I recommended so you can keep track of your accounting. Your accountant will thank you if you build that Gmail account, because then all that you have to do is just give them the login ID for that Gmail account and they can go do your reconciliation and accounting for your taxes. Easy way to solve that problem. So build a calendar to help you build the habits of consistency. That is one thing that will reward you. The habit of consistency will reward you over and over and over again. It really will. So set reminders so that you can be focused and committed to that time. Figure out which time block works best for you. Product research. Make sure that you are doing deep product research around whatever it is you want to sell. If you want to be a general print on demand seller, that's fine. Maybe on Mondays you focus on t-shirts, Tuesdays you focus on coffee mugs, Wednesdays you focus on, think about that. How do you want to split your day out? You could even break it down by that. So that if you're working on t-shirt designs on Mondays and Tuesdays, coffee mug designs on Wednesdays and Thursdays, whatever your schedule is. And don't overlook like setting up reminders. You can put a reminder on your calendar that says XYZ movie is coming out in 8 weeks. We are 8 weeks away from Christmas. We are 8 weeks away from whatever. So you can start working on those designs now. Be thinking about that art so that you're using the opportunity to design things that people are going to be needing automatically in the future. That's coming up. Those are seasonal, trendy, popular holiday, and maybe national holidays, national events. And then also that product research that you're doing that's in general. Maybe you're focusing on your niche. Maybe you're focusing on a specific area of print on demand or specific types of products. Maybe you want to do product bundles, but use Google to help you do some of the research. And Google will also help you with the keywords too. And you can also use Google to help you find trends. So think about that, and then be consistent. Be consistent in your business. Plan that out. Again, talking about that time window of X number of weeks or months ahead. Be thinking about that. Be consistent every single day by following your schedule. Adjust your schedule when it no longer serves you. When your schedule no longer serves you, make changes to it. Um, and be thinking about, one of the things that right now, there's a lot happening around movements around COVID-19, about politics. All of that is happening right now. These are all great opportunities for print on demand to be able to get into this business and to make some money right now. Maybe you have an idea or a shirt or something else that you could sell that's print on demand related. Just think about that. They were walking around, I want to say, actually in the Dallas Fort Worth area, they had umbrellas with the names of victims on the tops of their umbrellas. Print on demand idea right there. So print on demand can go on to so many different things. You just have to find a supplier that will actually has the item that you want to print the design or the words on. So be thinking about that. How can you use this window to make money with people's feelings and opinions, what they want or need around COVID-19, what they want or need around the upcoming elections and or politics, what they want or need around who they support or don't support, what they want or need around the current movement. Think about that. So my name is Nechole Whitlock. I'm with eCom Sellers Academy, eCom Seller Summit, eCom Q4 Summit, and I am so glad to be a speaker for the Mega Print on Demand Summit. I hope this information is helpful to you. I hope you go out and crush it in your business, get consistent in your daily activities so that you can make the kind of money that you envision and see what your life will look like if you focus for 90 days, what your life will look like from now. All right. Talk with you later.
Wow, that was awesome. I hope you took a lot of notes. If you're interested in getting the recordings, we have an all-access pass you can get. We will put a link in the description below. We have more great training coming up, so stay tuned. And if you know of anybody that's interested in learning print on demand, go ahead and tell them about our Mega Print on Demand Summit and have them get registered.